almost be like a whistleblower hotline. But then that way, it could be investigated, because if we have half a dozen teachers who have put their name on a letter saying we're going to teach it anyway, I think that we need to take that seriously, and I think it is already here. We've seen with the Sturkey Elementary art teacher, that is a case in point. It could be a one-off, we don't know. But I think there needs to be a better policy in place, whether it's at the county level or the state level. Maybe we talk to the governor, or talk to the education commissioner. But
I do know that the regulations are in draft right now, and they're still accepting comments on them.
So I feel free to comment.
Okay.
Any of y'all go to the comments. I mean,
that's right.
I really though, I really would like to elevate it more about how we move things forward than how do we punish teachers, which I feel like sometimes.
We're not asking for punishment. We just don't want it.
What the conversation's become.
No, Virginia, we understand. Look, just like Rob, I come from a family of educators. No, we don't want teachers punished, but those who would do it willingly, who would put their name on a letter saying we will violate the state law, that should not be allowed. We can't allow that.
We're talking about saying, the problem I saw in education when I ran against Betsy, okay, better person was, but the thing that I saw, talking to parents, talking to the kids, being a sports official in high school for over 25 years, two things. One, they'll talk to a coach, they'll talk to another, or someone they, outside their family home as a third party, that can report it. That's what they're talking about, limiting it to someone being in the school system.
Well, then I would make that feedback to the hotline then. I mean, they've got
I've already done that.
Okay, well then.
And we've done it as a group.
Then that's great.
Okay.
I mean, and hopefully they'll listen to your feedback and take.
Well, we're also bringing it to the school board, trying to stand up for the kids. And that's what we're talking about is, there was a lapse there, and I saw the best graph ever with the three wheels together. And it was not an engineer that designed it, but the three wheels were perfect, okay? The problem was that parents, teachers, kids were stuck in the middle, and it was one was turning, we turn that wheel, come turn together, it wouldn't work, okay? I made a joke about that during the election. That's the problem, the kids are stuck in the middle, nobody's standing up for the kids, okay? That's what.
Amen.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
District 6, you have a complaint right now about those kids that
Sean, go ahead. I need to wrap up. I'll be very quick. I respect what you're doing. I just met you for the first time tonight. I would leave a challenge with you to take a look at what's in the school books. I have looked at school books in other counties, and this content and the focus of the information is disturbing at the grade school level. And you can read it and you look at what they're talking about. It's not just race theory, it's called social emotional learning, which I came over here in case you couldn't hear me, so that's kind of hard to do. But there's a lot more to this picture. I come from this world, and it's hard to see because most people down here we're all civilized and we all get along. But if you see what's in the text of the book, if you have that ability, I would respectfully like to challenge you just to spend a few minutes reading through it, because you'll see something that I saw, and I'll leave it at that.
Maybe you could point that out to.
I'll talk to you on the way out. I'll catch you on the way out.
One more question.
Yes, hi, Jessica Rainey from Los Angeles, California, a teacher of 30 years. And I would just like to say it is very important to protect our children, to protect our American culture, because it is a culture. It needs to be taught in a way that's respected, like we're being told these other cultures should be respected. Also, I would like to say that I've also been a part of working with partnerships, and I witnessed Twitter brainwashing students. So we got to be very careful that our students are protected. And if it's a partnership, it should be about skills, not the social emotional, which I was also put in a homeroom and told to teach kids for 90 minutes, 90 minutes, their emotional gender and sexual orientation. segregation and black, white, brown. So it is very sinister underneath. And I'm with everybody in that it's about our children and it's about our culture that needs to be protected. And if it's not, parents have a voice and a choice to go elsewhere.
Thank you very much.
You know, in this past year, and you know, I'm a parent. I was a CTO president, you know, ran for an office. And I tell you, this year, parents, there's a table of parents there that I've been close with. And this year, parents have gotten so involved, community members have gotten so involved. And I think people are really realizing that local elections matter. It matters from this level. And I think that there's a lot of different issues that have come up this year. And we've really seen people really get involved. Thank you, Betsy.
I've been on that one for 8 months. Last night,
Make it an easy one, easy question.
last night, 6 Austin students. Steve's question, if you couldn't hear it, was 6 Austinese students have been killed. And was addressing Virginia and Betsy.
I spent an hour.
Watch out, dude.
I spent an hour with the fifth one in the morning when I did PCS festival. How
Starts at the home.
I mean, these are the
No, but we
issues that
also, I mean,
keep me awake at night.
I do think sometimes with something like the ballpark going up there, it's giving some of these kids hope for doing something other than getting into the trouble that they're getting into. And, you know, I mean, if you've got businesses that hire people and train them, and, you know, I do think that's a lot of it right now. I think there's kids over there that don't see a lot of hope, and they're given hope by these gang people that offer them guns and drugs. And unfortunately, that's who they're following over there. And, I do think there's a group of good community leaders over there trying to do really good work. I don't think sometimes they're the loudest voices that you hear screaming. But it's gonna take, it really is our whole community, because this is what I've said, is with all of the tragedy that's happened over in East Knoxville, when they report it in the news, they're not reporting it's East Knoxville, they're reporting it's Knoxville. So, you know, it's all, it affects all of us. I mean, it's our whole community when stuff like that happens. So, you know, it really is trying to figure out how do we give better hope to the kids over there, so that they're not, why are we having 13, 14-year-olds carrying guns over there? I mean, you know, it's a tough, I mean, I wish we all had, I mean, I think we're all struggling with the same thing we're struggling with. I mean, it really upsets me a lot.
I mean, I wish I had an answer. This keeps me up at night, and I'm sorry, it makes people angry, and you know, it came to a point where then it became the mayor's taking police out of schools and putting in the same memorandum that we just had, where we should be focusing on how do we make our schools safer, how do we support our police officers, and that's what we have to run as a community, not, you know, it just got so political, and how do we support the community, how do we support the students, how do we support our officers, and make security better in our schools? Why is this happening in our schools?
Great. How about a hand for Betsy Henderson?